A popular saying goes, money makes the world go round, which points to how the functionality of the entire planet is based on this piece of paper. You can try to imagine a world without money, but that would be difficult because money is a functional unit of every financial transaction in the world, both within a country and between two or more countries. However, there are certain secrets of money you probably didn't know, but they will be discussed later in this video. Money has certain primary functions that differentiate it from your regular piece of paper. These functions include serving as a medium of exchange, a store of value, a unit of account, and occasionally, a standard of delayed payment. With all these functions in mind, every country has its own currency, considered a medium of exchange within and with other countries. Even as you're watching this video, I bet you have some money on you, which will definitely be different from someone else watching this video in another country. We go behind the scenes to see how money is made, and one special secret about paper money that you should know. When it comes to making paper money, the process is vital, but so are the raw materials needed. One of the essential raw materials is paper, known as the substrate, which is a special combination of 25% linen and 75% cotton to give it that ideal feel. However, there is a secret about this paper that will be discussed later in the video. Another essential raw material is the ink, which is made up of dry color pigments mixed with extenders and oils to produce specifically thick printing inks. Black ink is often used to print on the front of the bills, while green ink is mostly used on the backs. However, this only applies to US dollars, giving rise to the nickname greenbacks for paper money. The ink's colors usually vary depending on the country, but the quality and makeup of the ink remain the same. While the paper money will be printed with special inks, the serial numbers and colored seals on the front of the bill are usually printed separately with regular printing inks. Once the raw materials have been acquired, next comes the designing process. Each country is very particular about the uniqueness of its paper currency, and for that reason, the front and back design of each denomination's bill is handcrafted by a team of top-notch engravers working from a photograph or drawing. Each engraver is in charge of a single portion of the denomination's bill's design, one doing the numerals, another the portrait, and so on. Every country is different, and oftentimes the portrait is on the front and sometimes the back, but each bill differs depending on the denomination. For example, in the United States, the $1 bill has George Washington on it, the $5 bill has Abraham Lincoln, and it goes like that up to the $100 bill with Benjamin Franklin on it. You know I like them Benjamins. Each bill for any country often has portraits of people who were chosen because of their historical importance in the country and the fact that their pictures are commonly well known to the public. Also, according to the law, the portrait of a living person cannot appear on paper money. The manufacturing process of the modern US paper bill is a complex procedure that involves specialized equipment, highly trained and skilled craftspeople, and a combination of sophisticated, cutting-edge technology merged with time-honored printing techniques. The main money-making facility is located in Washington, D.C., with a smaller facility in Fort Worth, Texas. And each day, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing prints about 38 million pieces of paper bills. Of these 38 million pieces, about 45% are $1 bills, 25% are $20 bills, while the rest of the production is split between $5, $10, $50, and $100 bills. In case you don't know, it costs the government to print money, and each bill, irrespective of its denomination, costs the United States government about 3.8 cents to make. The engravers hand-cut each bill's design into a piece of soft steel called the master die, with a magnifying glass and very fine engraving tools. Once the master die has passed inspection, it's heated, after which a thin plastic sheet is pressed into it to make a raised impression of the bill's design. 32 raised plastic impressions are then bonded together and arranged as 8 down and 4 across to form something called an alto. The plastic alto is electrolytically plated with copper in an electrolytic plating tank, after which plastic is stripped away to leave a thin plate of metal called a basso. The basso is inspected and plated with chromium to make its surface hard, and that becomes a master printing plate. Let me get my hands on one of those guys. After this is the offset printing stage, during which the background is printed on each side of the bill by a huge printer that can print about 10,000 sheets of paper bills hourly. The bills must then dry for 72 hours before they are moved onto the intaglio printing stage. At the intaglio printing stage, the bills are passed through an intaglio printer, which adds the finer details of the design, such as portraits, numerals, scrollwork, and some lettering. Afterward, the bills are inspected using a digital computer that analyzes each bill in minute detail to ensure the paper, ink, and printing meet the ideal standards. Next is the overprinting stage, which involves printing serial numbers and seals. The last stage is the stacking and cutting stage, in which the bills are stacked and cut into individual bills using a large cutting machine. However, there is a special secret to paper money that you should know, but before that, you should know that paper money hasn't always been around. Paper money hasn't always been the medium of exchange, as barter-like methods involving exchanging goods or services for other goods or services were mostly used about 10,000 years ago. Over time, many cultures around the world developed barter-like methods to commodity money. Paper money, or banknotes known as jiaozi, were originally used in China during the Song dynasty in the 7th century, and they were considered a means of payment along with coins. In the 13th century, paper money became recognized in Europe due to the accounts of travelers like William Rubric and Marco Polo. Paper money was first issued in Europe in 1661 by Stockholm's Banco, being used alongside coins. However, a medium of exchange where paper notes that could be converted into previously set, fixed quantities of gold became the new form of currency in Europe in the 17th to 19th centuries. This was called the gold standard. And with the advent of the 20th century, nearly all countries around the world adopted its use, supporting their legal tender notes with fixed quantities of gold. After the Second World War and the Bretton Woods Conference, many countries implemented fiat currencies fixed to the United States dollar, which was in turn fixed to gold. Now, let's look at the special secret you should know when dealing with paper money. The substrate of paper contains little segments of blue and red fibers dispersed throughout for visual identification. Since 1990, the paper used for $10 bills and higher denominations consisted of 2 plies, with the polymer security thread laminated between them. This thread is only visible when the bill is held up to a source of light. This is why the nation's currencies cannot be duplicated using printers or photocopiers. Do you think paper money is much better than coins? Leave your answer in the comments section below.